everybody. I am so excited about our sponsor for this month, the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. It's the Gillot Home Team and Laura Gillot. How are you doing, Laura?
I'm doing wonderful.
That is so awesome. You know, the Gillot Home Team is doing so much in real estate. Give us a snapshot of what you're up to.
Awesome. Well, last year we were able to help 551 families either buy or sell real estate. We love our community. We love our clients. Our mission is to deliver the keys to home ownership through stellar customer service, integrity, and joy. And we're looking to help even more folks this year.
That is so awesome. You know, if you want a team that is there for you, it's the Gillot Home Team and Laura Gillot. And thanks so much, Laura, for your sponsorship. Good evening, everybody. Woohoo! Welcome to the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. How's it going, Scott?
Hey, there's the Russ of Russ and Scott. It's good to see you this morning, man. I am just always grateful just to hang out with you.
There you go. Well, the feeling is mutual. And besides you being an awesome friend, you know, it's such a pleasure to do this with you. I feel honored that you let me be part of this with you.
We have fun. That's for sure. And it's going to be another great show today.
Oh my goodness. I'm really looking forward to who we have coming up today. We have Sabine and David with us today, but before we jump to them, I just want to remind everybody, we're here every week, every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time now. And we are here, Scott and I, bringing you awesome, incredible guests and just enjoying the experience of life, right?
We do. We have the most remarkable people. It is always fun. People always have such different experiences. And the stories that we hear are just remarkable.
They are remarkable. And, you know, we wouldn't be here without our wonderful sponsor, Laura Gillot and the Gillot Home Team. You've already heard from her, but just want to thank her again. They are just awesome people and bless their community so much. So thank you again to Laura and her team. Yep. And what do you got going on this week, Scott?
Well, the big news is that I got accepted as an Amazon influencer. And so I'm working on putting together a live program like Live with Russ and Scott every week at 7 Pacific time. But I'm going to do that a little bit different. But I'm looking forward to connecting up with people that are selling products on Amazon. And then we can go and do this live, just like we're doing now, but we'll be on Amazon and be able to help people promote their products. So right now I'm kind of putting that program together and getting a guest list to share.
So people awesome.
People that maybe have written books.
Hey, that is so true. And speaking of books, well, no, actually it has nothing to do with books. Tomorrow is my 100th episode of my podcast, Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. And so blessed. David has been a guest on there. Sabine will be a guest on there. And just really blessed with all the people that I've been able to talk to there. And I really owe all that I'm doing in media and that to you, Scott. So I appreciate it.
Well, you know I'm going to be there. Your 100th episode, I wouldn't miss that. It's going to be exciting. People definitely want to tune in and share that out.
That's for sure. And you will you'll make a guest appearance along with a couple others. Ed Soho is our main guest tomorrow. So it'll be fun. So I think that's enough about us, don't you?
Yeah. Let's get to the show.
All right, here we go. Well, you know what? We're gonna bring in Sabine because I don't even know what to say about her except for she is awesome. She and I spoke yesterday. And we just have a little bit in common. And we had just a wonderful time talking. So Sabine, here she comes. And, we almost see her. She's kind of there. Her name is there.
Well, she's loading in. I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you that Sabine and I are working on a project together. And maybe we'll get a chance to talk about that. But I do have the pleasure of getting to hang out with Sabine as well. So there you are. Good morning.
There she is.
All right.
We thought we lost you for a minute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. We can hear you.
Wonderful.
Can you hear us?
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. Yes. So I think my picture froze here, but if you can see and hear me, that's great.
Right.
We can see you and hear you. Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Russ, congratulations to your 100th episode tomorrow. That's amazing. What a milestone.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. And, I really owe it to all the wonderful people that have helped me and blessed me along the way, and the guests that I've had and will have. And yeah, Sabine, you and I yesterday, we had the most wonderful chat, the most wonderful time. It was a pleasure getting to know you. And I know a lot about you now, but everybody watching may not know all about you. So why don't you give us a little insight into the life of Sabine?
Okay, how much time do we have? Well, I will make it very brief. Well, my background is very versatile, but I am an artist. So I was a stage and TV actress in Europe for 10 years, and I truly enjoyed it. I made that shift after listening to my dad, who said, Sabine, find a job with benefits and a salary so you can pay your bills, right? So, and yeah, I did. I started out working as a claim adjuster, but that was not for me, and that didn't last long. So that's when I made the career shift, and I thanked a former teacher of mine who reminded me on the gift that has been given to each one of us. We all have been given a gift. And for me, apparently, it was to entertain, to perform, to speak, and to inspire and to coach. So that's basically how I started out. And then after 10 years, I became a director. I traveled the world. I put shows on at different vacation spots. And then I decided I wanted to settle down. And that's when I moved to the United States. So originally I'm from Hamburg, Germany. And that's where I started my first business. And that is a performing arts school that I still have to this day.
Well, it's incredible that we both have that performing background. And I think that has blessed both of us in what we're doing today. Being able to, and Scott is also very musical and performs and does worship at his church. And I think having that musical background is a real plus when you're dealing with people and when you're up on stages talking to people. That's really helped you, don't you think, Sabine?
Absolutely. And it's so funny that you said we all have that musical background. And I just learned that Scott also did some music ministry. It's a funny story. We had our performing arts school, and one day someone entered my doors, and that was a minister, and they were looking for a place to start their church. And it was a non-denominational church. And I said, sure. So I went to the first service, and it was amazing. I felt like coming home. And the second service, they were asking for all kinds of positions to be filled. And they also are looking for a music minister. And my hand went up. And I don't know why, but I was called to do so. And that started a wonderful journey for me, because I understood that music is very powerful. Music is kind of the back door to people's heart and mind, and delivers the message that you give, or in this case, the minister, like through the back door, and enhances that. And that gift has been given to me. And through that, I actually started writing music. And became a singer-songwriter. And there was also a very interesting quick story, because I always use something from my background, musical theater, very inspiring. And one day my minister said, okay, the talk title is The Game of Life. And I said, oh, I don't know a song. Take Me Out to the Ball Game? No, it doesn't fit, right? That week, I sat down on my piano, and I'm not a good piano player, just for, basic things. But all of a sudden, the song came to me, the chorus, and then the first verse. And then I said, oh my God, I have to perform it. So I called up my minister. I said, I have a song called The Game of Life. And I called it, that was my title. And then on Saturday, before Sunday, I still had to find the second verse. And I was so into it. Okay, how can I get that? But then I just relaxed and said, okay, God, you gave me that idea. Now please finish it. And sure enough, once I relaxed, I sat back down, second verse came,
Mm.
and I performed it the next day. And that also is a title on my CD that I produced a few years later. So I thought it
Wow.
was a funny story.
That's
Well-
great. I know there was another German that was writing music for his church. And at one point, I know he was writing one full cantata every week. And that was, of course, J.S. Bach, right? And so I'm glad to know you. It brings me just one step closer to him and his work. But music really does have something very unique about it, because we can have a song that we like and we can hear it several times during the day and it's okay. And we'll still sing along with it.
Yes.
But if you tell the same story or the same joke, yeah, I heard that one, right? But music, you go, oh yeah, I've heard that. I know how this song ends, right? It doesn't
Right.
happen.
Well, music is magical. And I've got to say, speaking of magical, we have another guest
Yeah.
I'd like to bring in, the wonderful David Munford, who is the host of Seen Red podcast. And we're going to ask him about his musical abilities. David, we've known each other for a while, but are you out there performing on the side that I don't know about?
Let's say no. It would be sellout. Nobody would come.
Well, David
So-
has many, many talents, but obviously music is not one of them. But David, it is so great to have you here this morning. And
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about you, Seeing Red podcast, and all that you're doing.
Gosh, just quick update. This is Seeing Red with David is coming up on ending of the first season. Just through a lot of decisions lately, I've got an episode I'm recording today, and then I'm recording one Monday, and then I'm going to take the summer off and kind of just sit back and chill for a little bit, because life has been crazy and doing some transitionings through some other things. But podcast is loving it. Had a conversation this morning about it, and still love the podcast, still love what I'm doing, but need a break for a little bit and kind of just refocus on some things and get back to the basics of life and just kind of reevaluate some things. So things are going really well. I mean, loving it. Job is amazing. I know I believe I talked on your podcast about recovery. Kind of my recovery is going amazing. Life is just, I couldn't be happier where I'm at in life. I was on a podcast last night with Melanie Ake and Sparkle Lindsay, and we were talking about addiction and recovery and celebrating 2 years of recovery for sobriety for Sparkle Lindsay and where she's been. And it made me think last night that I have been, I know it's right around now, I've been 8 years sober from pornography, going on 6 years of sobriety from mental health issues. So, I mean, life is so great right now, but there's some things I'm seeing some weeds pop up and seeing some things that I just need to knock some things down for a little bit and kind of chill out and get back to basics.
Yeah, I like this that you're really focusing on what's important in your life, and even the podcast that's going good, which is wonderful. I think people that are on the outside really don't know what it takes behind the scenes, like Russ, to create a podcast, to find the guests, to do the research, to do all that work.
Well, I want to say, David, that I've been blessed to be on your podcast twice now, I think. And you would be the first to say, as we've got to know each other, God is good in all the good things he's done in your life, and really focusing on your purpose. I'm all about that. Focusing on your true purpose in your family and all the things you got going. I just really, that's just really amazing. I commend you for that.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a hard decision to make, but when I started over a year, let's see, when I started doing the whole podcast, the whole LinkedIn lives, the whole everything, I was doing gosh, almost 5 days a week.
Wow.
And then I back down to 2 days a week. And now with some transitionings and some other things going on, when I come back, hopefully in the fall, it may be a little bit past the fall. I'm going to be going to 1 day a week because it's just easier for me to just do 1 day a week. Just go Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Still trying to go live, but I'm going to be recording on Monday nights at 8 o'clock. I do have a editor now with my podcast. That's new. Joe Ake with Joe Ake Media is stepped in and wants to do all the post-production for my podcast and do all the behind the scene work for me. So just a plug out there for him. He has really blessed me and wants to help me out there. So that will be easier for me. But there are so many great guests I still want to have on, and people I'm meeting almost every day on LinkedIn and that want to be on. So I'm really looking forward to what happens down the road with Seeing Red, because it's not going to end. It's not going to totally end. It's just
you are an amazing connector, David. You are, and I applaud you for all the good things you're doing. And speaking of good things, Sabine and I, when we were talking yesterday, she was letting me know not only has she been doing all this wonderful performing arts over the years, but now she's getting more into some coaching and speaking and things like that. Sabine, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I am a communication and confidence coach, if you want to give it a title. But I shifted a little bit. I'm not so active anymore teaching artists to get started. That was a very dominant part. But now I'm teaching entrepreneurs to really use the right communication skills, especially now that everything shifted to the past year to online and video and Zoom. And I also know, being a Toastmaster and of course a performer, that speaking publicly, 7 out of 10 have the fear of public speaking. And so I want to help them overcome that and also teach them how they can use some of the acting skills and using vocal skills to really spice up their podcasts, their lives, being more confident, and most importantly, better connect with the audience, convey their message, and then hopefully also have people that are watching and conveying them to paying clients. So that's what I've been doing. And by the way, I just started, or I'm in the process of starting, my new podcast called Communication Coaching. So I'm very excited about that.
Yes, I'm very excited about that too, because I'm going to have the pleasure of being a guest on that podcast. And anytime after yesterday, anytime I get to talk with Sabine is a good day. So
thank you. That's sweet.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a big deal to start a podcast. Yeah. And the communication is so important. And I think that the folks that have had training in performance make great coaches because they've learned how to communicate, to use not just their words, but the inflection of their voice, the tone, the pacing. All of these things are so important, but not everybody can have that advantage of going through and learning to be a performer. But you mentioned Toastmasters, and that's something that so many people can do.
Absolutely. And the interesting thing with Toastmasters, it's very inexpensive and you can take the time that you want to. I went through the Toastmasters experience myself. Of course, I got my DTM, the Distinguished Toastmaster, in less than 4 years, which, you really have to have like several communication tracks, several leadership tracks. You have to be a leader and leading groups and divisions and so forth. But for me, the most important part that I got out of that, you see, I just wanted to hone in my speaking skills. Now, you may laugh, right? Said, what are you talking about, Sabine? I was not afraid to be on stage, but since English is not my first language, actually I was a little bit self-conscious there. It's like, well, maybe not the right words are coming out. And I really wanted to make it the best I could be, or become the best I could be. So that's why I did that. But that helped me also with the skills that I've learned there, my acting skills, my coaching skills, now putting it all together. So I created a course called the Camera Confident Fast Track, which is what it is. Really, in under an hour, you can learn everything that you need. And then you can look again and again and practice the things that I give you, and you will become better. You will get more confidence in your presentations.
Well, I think that's what it takes a lot of times is practice. And I was thinking about voicing. One thing that David has going for him that's a plus is, I love your voice, David. Love the accent. And I think David has got better and better with the practice. And I think by taking the summer off and then re-preparing, now we all have this in common, the podcasting. It's a great platform to continue to get out there. And David's working a day job too. So he works all day long, comes home and does this on top of that. So David, what are the plans? Are you kind of shifting the format a little bit for the fall, or are you going to be pretty much the same?
It'll pretty much be the same. Hopefully by the fall I can get LinkedIn Live or do Restream, kind of be learning that. Or I've just been doing Zoom calls. I may just continue what I'm doing with Zoom, see how that goes. I really like the personal side of doing Zoom. If live may not happen, that's okay. If live never happens, perfectly fine. I don't really care about that. But having the opportunity to talk to people around the world, and when I say around the world, I literally mean I have talked to people almost every continent by now, or I have touched every continent, and some of the people I've talked to, I've been so blessed to be able to connect with them that it's unbelievable to think where I've come in the past year of starting the journey. And it all started just because I took a voluntary layoff April 7th of last year from my job with the pandemic, and got home, wasn't sure what I was going to do. Found LinkedIn, started sharing my story, and people heard my story of where I've been and what I do with automotive industry. And people started wanting me to come on their shows, talk about my journey, talk about my personal side, talk about the entrepreneur side of the business, what I do there. And it has literally just taken off. And then August, I think around August of last year, I started seeing Red with David, and it's literally, I don't know the exact number, but I'm somewhere under 50, or maybe right at 50 episodes on it, because I haven't released a lot. I've been recording, but I haven't released any yet. But it does take a lot of work, but it is therapeutic too.
Well, so one of the things, David, I just say your story is so inspiring in so many ways. The recovery is so fabulous. And people that have a day job that actually do like you have and focus and create a business on the side, that not many people are willing to do that. No. But it's so rewarding. And I just think of, if you hadn't done that, Red wouldn't be out there. You wouldn't be impacting the lives. And so I'll just say, you have chosen to live a life that makes a difference. And that is so inspiring.
Yeah. And I want to echo that. You're very inspiring, David. And people are going to want to know more about you and how to get in touch with you. And I'm the one that has to say our time is wrapping up. And the first thing I want to do is give you both a chance to tell people how to get in touch with you, how to contact you, because there's so much more. We've just scratched the surface. So David, how can people get in contact with you so you can inspire them more?
LinkedIn is the only social media platform right now. That too could be changing. I'm not too sure about that. but LinkedIn is the best way. And if anybody wants to follow along with the podcast, it's pretty much on any podcast platform out there. And it's just Seeing Red with David Munford, or message me on LinkedIn and I can send you a link for it.
Perfect. That's awesome. And Sabine, I know you've got some connection points. How do people get in touch with you?
Well, the easiest would be really to go to SabineKvenberg.com. And actually, if you Google my name, I think I'm the only Sabine Kvenberg here in the United States with that last name. So it should not be too hard to find me. I'm on different social media platforms as well, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I got my YouTube channel. And so, yeah, I do Monday Mindset Motivation. So, yeah, many different ways. And I do have a freebie on my website. If anybody's interested, I have like a video presentation template that they can download that might be very helpful for the listeners.
Wonderful.
That's awesome. You know, both of you are such a blessing, and I appreciate you both for coming on today. And I know that people are going to reach out to you. You know, we have so many people that watch us on replay, and you know, when we get done today, you guys can share this with anybody. We encourage those of you that have been watching today to share this, to get it out there. To if you're watching it on replay, share it. Put hashtag replay, make a comment, say hey to Sabine and David, connect with them, because you know what? That's two incredible stories that we have been able to be blessed with today. And again, I appreciate both of you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us here, Russ and Scott. You're doing great stuff, and I look forward to see what happens with the experience and many other things in the future.
Thank you, Sabine.
All right, you guys hang tight. I'm going to send you out. We'll talk to you in just a moment.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Sabine.
All right.
Wow.
Man, it goes so fast.
I just love, you know, you meet people and you get to learn. We get this little crack to look inside their world, and such inspiring stories, and just I think gives other people courage that want to make changes in their lives as well.
Well, we all know that life is a journey, and we experience that journey daily. And the more we can learn from others, the better we are, because we know that we're better together, right?
Boy, that's the truth. We do need each other. And, you know, the research shows that when you have good connections, that you live a longer, healthier, and happier life.
Well, you got a long, healthy life in front of you, Scott. So
I don't know, Russ. Both of us are blessed by being able to connect to a lot of people, and both in person and digitally. You know, I'm really grateful for platforms like this. You know, so
I'm with you. Well, listen, everybody, don't forget every Wednesday, 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, you can tune in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott every week. And occasionally we have an Experience Plus special episode. We have one coming up.
But tomorrow morning.
Yes.
The 100th. Don't miss that. Make sure that you'll want to be there live, because you'll want to, I know you'll want to interact with the guests. You'll want to interact with Russ and give them a high five. Give them a digital high five on the comments tomorrow.
Well, you know, the guest that I have on, Ed Soho, talk about an incredible communicator, connector, incredible man. And then I have on Wendy Stunt from Ireland, speaking of around the world, David. And also we have Jason Cooper's going to make a guest appearance from Ireland. And we're also going to have a guest appearance by Melissa Maloney, who does my voiceover for my podcast. And Scott, of course, D. Scott Smith is the big special guest star. So it'll be a lot of fun. So please tune in Facebook, also on YouTube and Twitter. It'll be broadcasting tomorrow morning, and then we'll also have replays on LinkedIn as well. So, and
I did interrupt you, and I interrupted you just now, but you were mentioning about the Experience Plus, which is an additional episode, and we've got a special guest coming up.
That's right. Coming up this month, we have Madeline Scalar on the Experience Plus, great, the Twitter queen. So if you know anything about Twitter, you know Madeline. So
And
she
if you
is
don't
such
know about Twitter, you'll want to watch that show.
for sure. Either way, you want to watch it. So, okay. Well, listen, this is so much fun. We could keep going, but it's time to leave. So listen, thank you all. Bless you. Have a wonderful day. And until we see you again, have an awesome day and an awesome life.
Enjoy the experience.